Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Katelyn, and today we are continuing the 100 Dragon Challenge. So just a quick reminder, I am currently out of the country at Fan Expo Canada. If you guys want to check it out, I'm having a little meetup. I'll put a little link here. So there won't be any entries at the end of this, but I will be catching up next week. But for today, we are doing a stuffed animal dragon. I loved this idea once it got commented. I thought it'd be a super cute and fun little thing to design. I've always loved stuffed animals. I've collected them for a very long time. Not like, I wouldn't say it's like my primary thing that I collect, but I really love stuffed animals. I know when my husband and I first started dating, I think it was like year 2, maybe year 1 or 2 into our relationship, I sewed him a little stuffed animal dragon, and I don't know where it is now. I think we named her Kato, because we were like joking that it's like a little mini me for him to have. And it was just this little blue patchworky dragon. I'll put a picture here somewhere. But I really loved making that, and I thought this would be a fun opportunity to kind of make another patchwork-like dragon. I was really excited to try that out and jump into making a stuffed animal dragon. I don't really do, I guess, tactile-like dragons as much. Like, there are more of like the, well, no, tactile, that's, tactile is like a physical thing. I guess more like cloth dragons. That's what I'm looking for. Wow, guys, I'm sorry. I've never really drawn a cloth dragon before. Like, I haven't really thought about like if I converted one of my dragons to a plushie or anything like that. I would love to make plushies in the future for sure, but I've never like sketched one out or figured it out. So this actually posed kind of a challenge when I was drawing this. It was a little hard for me to wrap my head around how to make something that looks like it was sewn together, just because you have to think about, all right, well, if this was sewn together, it had stuffing. A lot of the times they're like cylinders or like circles or different like shapes that are easily sewable. Wow, see, this is already showing I do not know anything about sewing. But you have to think about that when you were drawing this one, because when I was trying to figure out how this would be constructed, I had to think about, you know, if it was actually sewn together, how would it work? It's a little bit different than doing a organic creature, because I feel you can kind of, not like flub the anatomy, but like maybe I'm just so much more comfortable with like physical skin, flesh, and bones that I had a better idea of what to do with those. When you move over to something made out of cloth, I feel it just looks a little different, and you have to have the different ligaments bend differently or the different parts connect in different ways. I can't explain exactly what I was thinking in terms of like what I was struggling with for laying this guy out. But it was a good challenge. It was good to figure out how I would do this, because if I do want to make kind of more plushy merchandise in the future or make anything cute like this, you know, this was a good exercise for me to try out. And I know like one of the degrees back in college that I thought about going into was industrial design. I did do graphic design for the first year I was in college, and then I was thinking about switching degrees to either drawing or industrial design, but after seeing the courses for that, I'm like, I'm gonna go do more of a general drawing. But I bet industrial designers like have had to design, you know, a stuffed animal or a toy, because I remember my friend Janelle, I remember her designing some like light up toy or like a play off of like the old phone toy. I don't know, but I know that it had to have been in the curriculum somewhere to design a toy. And I bet, man, if I took those courses, this video would have been a lot easier. It was still a lot of fun to design this dragon, but it was also, like I said, a challenge to wrap my head around. How would I make this thing out of cloth instead of flesh and bones? It just felt like a different process. So after I figured out those rough sketches and tried to plan out what I wanted to do with this one, it was time to jump in and actually lay him out on this page, which still posed kind of some troubles just because I'm not used to drawing a cloth thing. So I had to think about how things folded differently, or, you know, how they would come to a taper or whatnot. But in the end, this was really fun to draw. I had a blast doing this last part after I kind of figured out how everything would connect. It just kind of all came together, and I loved making this little patchwork dragon, just having all the stuffing coming out in different places and showing like where it was sewn together. Different little features like that made this really fun. And then I added like a little pin sticking out of it as if it was getting sewn back together and repaired, that's the word. And then I added like a little cute thimble next to him just for like scale, and I love this little guy. He's so cute. I had a lot of fun with this guy. And then it was also kind of a nice exploration of textures that I don't really use. I do draw clothing on characters, but they're usually not this zoomed in. Like, I don't show where it's like sewn together or anything. I have done, like, I guess you could call it like peasant-ish clothing where you see the bigger patches and things, but this was just a kind of a new experiment in figuring out how to texturize cloth. And when I was doing this line art phase, I was trying to think about what type of cloth I would use and how I would color it, which was an interesting thought process just because I remember there's this one fabric, I don't know what it's called because I am not really versed in the fabric arts, but it's like more of a shiny kind of coarse fabric. It's not like soft and plushy, it's just kind of shiny and reflective, and I was like, oh, this would be really cool for the wings. So I had that in mind, and then I would make the rest of the dragon matte to kind of have this cool little shiny bit next to all of these matte colors. So I kept that in mind when I was picking out all of these different Copic colors. And then I also just kind of wanted a mishmash of colors. Like, I just imagine this being so childlike and fun. Like a kid is hanging out with their mom and trying to figure out different colors to put together to make this dragon plushie, and helping her pick out different cloths to use on this. I just thought that was a really cute little idea, so that's kind of what I went with. I didn't really show a lot of colors that I tested there at the beginning because it kind of slowly evolved into me picking a lot of colors. But yeah, as you can see, I jumped into the wings first to try to do that shiny fabric, and I wasn't really too pleased with how this ended up looking. It was too late because I already put down the marker. I tried saving it how I could, but that's probably my least favorite part of the drawing. I wasn't too happy with that. I should have looked up reference on how that cloth looked instead of me just flubbing it and trying whatever. But you know, it is what it is. And even though that's probably my least favorite part, the rest of the coloring I really love. I really love the texture that I was able to emulate on some of the fabric, and then like little details I add later on, which you will see. But yeah, overall this guy was super fun. The wings, like I said, I'd probably change, but the rest I really love. I think another little critique that I would do was I went back and forth on what color I wanted for the stomach. I think the purple is kind of cute, but I should have done something that was more contrasty to the blues and the reds that were around it. Like, my thought process was, you know, like red and blue mixed together makes purple. So I thought it'd be really nice to have a purple, but maybe a brighter purple next time, like something maybe more lavender or violet, like a brighter violet, something different than the purple I picked. It wasn't terrible and I didn't fully dislike it, but that and the wings are probably my main critique of this one. But either way, I think this guy turned out super cute. It was really fun. I'd love to see this as an actual like sewn plushie. I think it'd be really adorable to see in person. So I just loved it. Maybe one day I'll try to figure out how to sew and actually sew myself one of these. But anyway, thanks again guys so much for stopping by and checking out this video. And if you aren't already, you can go and hit that subscribe button. I have new videos every week, and we don't have entries here at the end because, like I said, I am out of the country. I'm in Canada right now. So if you guys want to go to the meetup and check that out, I have like a little link up in the cards. Check that out and see if you're in the Toronto area. I'd love to see you at the meetup tomorrow. So thanks again guys so much for stopping by, and if you would like to enter your stuffed animal dragon, make sure to post it under the hashtag KM100dragons on Twitter or Instagram. So I'll see you all later, and I can't wait to see your adorable stuffed animal dragons. Bye everybody.